Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's challenging level puzzle, and it's called Kropki Loop by Bellamy. And here are the rules. We have normal Sudoku rules apply, which means in every cell in the grid, place a single digit from 1 through 9, such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or designated 9th cell region, which is a box. We also have XV clues, where cells separated by an X must sum to 10, and cells separated by a V must sum to 5. So as an example, if this were a 3 here, this would have to be a 7, and this would have to be a 2, because these digits must add up to 10, and these digits must add up to 5. We also have a Kropki loop, where we need to draw a one-cell wide loop of orthogonally connected cells which can't touch itself, not even diagonally. So an orthogonally connected loop of could be something like, say, this. This would be valid. And another way of putting it is that every cell on the loop must share an edge with exactly two other cells on the loop. And they cannot be touching unless they share a neighbor or they are neighbors on the loop. So this is a valid orthogonally one cell wide orthogonally connected loop. This, however, would not be, because it would be touching itself diagonally. And obviously, this would also not be, even if we moved this here, because it would be touching, it would be sharing an edge with 3 cells on the loop, which is not allowed. This cell would be sharing an edge with 3 cells. Actually, so would this one. So that's one way of basically figuring out what can and cannot be orthogonally connected, an orthogonally connected loop which can't touch itself. Also, adjacent cells on the loop either differ by 1 or are in a 1-to-2 ratio. So, say for example, this was a 6. The digits that could be next to it would be either consecutive with it, 5 or 7, or in a 1-to-2 ratio with it, which would be 3. And each X and V connects a loop cell with a non-loop cell. So for every X pair, one is on the loop, one is not on the loop. So this is not actually a valid loop because of that. And this would be valid because one is on the loop and one is not. But this is obviously not valid because one is on the loop and one is not here. But these are actually both on the loop according to how I colored the loop. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, all the V's have to be 1 or 4 or 2 and 3 adding up together. So this is 1 through 4, this is 6 through 9. These are 1 through 4. This can't be 3, so this can't be 2. Okay, so for this V, which digit is on the loop and which is not? If this is on the loop and this is not, it has no way it can enter and then exit back out. So this cannot be on the loop. This must be on the loop, and to exit and enter, it must go this way. So this is on the loop. This can't be on the loop because it would be touching itself then. It has to extend to here. So this must go this way. And this could go down, so we don't know about this one. So this is on the loop. Can this ever be on the loop? I guess if these are not on the loop. So that's it. Yeah. What does that mean when it forms that pattern? So, say this was on the loop, and these were not. it would have to go this way. This could not be on the loop. It would have to go that way. So it would have to essentially go all the way around. This could not be on the loop. It would have to extend to here. Huh. Is that possible? Maybe? If this is not on the loop, these are on the loop. And therefore it must go this way because these share a corner already. So they have to share a neighbor or be neighbors. They can't be neighbors, so they must share a neighbor. These can't be on the loop then. This has to go out somewhere. It can't go up because then it would have to touch itself. So it has to go this way. And then here. And then here, this is not on the loop. So either way, this is always on the loop. This is what it seems like, right? It either goes this, and this is always on the loop. So these two are always on the loop, then guaranteed. Does that mean anything? I'm not really sure. So it could be either way. But we do know these two are on the loop no matter what. If this is not on the loop, this is not on the loop, this is on the loop. So it cannot go to here. So it would have to go here, then not here. What about here? So if this is on the loop, that means the others are not. So it'd be here. This would have to go here. Oops. Here and here. So this would not be on the loop. It would have to go this way to here. This could extend here, but it can't go there. This could not be on the loop. This would have to be a 4 or a 6. Because 5 is only consecutive. It can never be in a 1 to 2 ratio with another digit. So this would be 4, 6. This would be 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6. That could potentially work. So this is guaranteed this way. What if both of these are on the loop? If these are on the loop, this is not. Again, they must share a neighbor, so it must go that way. But we don't have any restriction anywhere else. And that could work very well, actually. Because these digits would be consecutive with the same digit or in a 1-2 ratio with the same digit. And that's fine. Okay. What happens if we go here? Okay, so it'd have to go this way. None of these would be on the loop. None of these could be on the loop. So what happens if it goes this way? Can it ever be 1 and 9? I think the answer to that is no. Right? 1 would be in a 1 to 2 ratio or consecutive with only 2. And 2 is not going to be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 9 at all. It wouldn't be 1 and 9, though. It'd be 1 and 6, but that's still the same problem, right? You have... So say you had 1 here, it would be in a 1 to 2 ratio, or it's consecutive with only 2. This would be 4, that would be 6. 2 and 6 are not in a 1 to 2 ratio and are not consecutive, so that doesn't work. What if this is 2? That's 2, this is 3, this is 7. 2 is only consecutive with 1 or 3. 1 is not in consecutive or in a 1 to 2 ratio with 7. 2 could be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 1 or 4. 4 is not consecutive or in a 1 to 2 ratio with 7, so that doesn't work either. What about 3? 3, 2, and 8. 3 is consecutive with 4, which could be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 8. So that could work. Okay. What about 4? If this is 4, that's 1, that's 9. 9 is in a 1 only consecutive with... Okay, 9 could never be here. Because if this is 9, it would be consecutive with 2 other digits, and it's only consecutive with 8. And it's not in a 1 to 2 ratio with any other digit. So 9 can never be there. So if it's this way, this has to be 3. This is 2, that's 8. Therefore, 3 is consecutive with 4. 4 would be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 8. 8 would be consecutive with 7 or 9, and 9 could not be here. So this would be 7, that would be 6. 6 is either consecutive with 5, or it's in a 1 to 2 ratio with 3. It cannot be 3, this would have to be 5. Huh. So this is how it would have to be. 5 cannot be here, but 5 has to be here, because those are the only digits remaining. Therefore, these two cannot be on the loop. This must be on the loop. So, what does that prove then? That means this is on the loop, and these are not. This must enter in this way and exit out that way. This is not on the loop. This must then go around this way. This can't be on the loop because it would be touching itself on the corner, so it must extend to here. Okay. This is either consecutive with it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it's double it. 2, 4, 6, and 8. Same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. No 3 because of the 3 in the row. This we don't know as much information. If this were on the loop, then these would not be on the loop. So the loop would have to go something like that. And then it would guarantee to go here and then here. These would not be on the loop. So this would be 4, 6. This would be 4, 6. This would be 4, 6. That could be in a 1 to 2 ratio, though. So it could be 3 or 7 to be consecutive with 4 or 6, or in a 1 to 2 ratio. And 6 would be with 3. This 4, 6 pair would eliminate 4 here, so this would not be 1. This could not be on the loop. These could not be on the loop. 6 in a 1 to 2 ratio is with 3. 4 could be with 2 or 8. So this is 2, 3, 7, 8. 9 could not be any of these, because if 9 were anywhere here, it would be connecting 2 cells on the loop, and it would be consecutive. And in fact, okay, so that's interesting information. In box 1, where can 9 be? 9 can never be on the loop. It could have only been here because it could be next to 2 unique digits, or sorry, 1 unique digit here. But everywhere else in the box, it's connects to 2 unique digits. So 9 has to be one of these 2 here. 1, similarly, cannot be in the rest of these cells. This is next to 2 unique digits, and 1's only can be next to 2 on the Kropki loop, right? It's one in a 1 to 2 ratio with only 2. It's consecutive with only 2. So this cannot be 1. These can't be 1. So 1 could be here. It would be with 2 then. So 1 has to be one of these 4 digits. We don't know which. This is next to 2 unique digits. 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 Where is the 9 then? I guess 9 could be here. This is next to 2 unique digits on the loop. So are these. So 9 could be either one of these 3. Right? 9 cannot be here. It's between 2 unique digits on the loop. This is 1 through 4. 1 obviously can't be here because this adds up to, with a low digit, to add up to 10. So if this is not a 1-4 pair, obviously that's 1. So this couldn't ever be a 4. Huh. If this is... Okay, so say this was not... This was 4. So if we made this 4 and that 1, this would have to be 6, and this would guarantee to be 9. But then the rest of the digits would have to be 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. 5 could not be any of these. 5 would have to be one of these two. But the 5 would have to be guaranteed to be between 4 and 6, because it's only consecutive with 4 and 6. And 4 is here, obviously. So this can never be 4 here. So this can't be 1. If this is... So this can't be 6 here. What about if this is 1 and 9 here? That's 4. 1 is only consecutive with 2, so this would be 2 and 2 here. 2 could not be with 4, so this would then be 3. Because 2 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with only 1 and 4. It's consecutive with only 1 and 3. So this would be 1, 2, 3. 3 could not be next with 2 or 4 here. And so it would have to be 6 to be in a 1 to 2 ratio. And then this would have to be 5. This would be 7 to be consecutive with it, 8. So that could work. What if this is a 2-3 pair? That's interesting. Ah, that can't work. Because again, 9 again can only be next to 1 unique digit. So if this is a 2-3 pair, this would be 7 or 8. 9 and 1 would both have to be here, because 1 can only be next to 1 unique digit. 9 can only be next to 1 unique digit. And the rest of these digits are all unique, next to 2 unique digits. So this cannot be 2-3. It has to be 1-4. This is 9. 1 is only next to 2 on the loop. So this is 2. 2 can be next to 1, 3, or 4. 1 and 4 are already taken in the box, so this is 3. That means this can't be a 2-3 pair. This is a 1-4 pair here. 3 is here. 3 can only be in... It's consecutive with 2 and 4, but those are already taken in the box. So it's in a 1 to 2 ratio with 6. 6 can be consecutive, because the 1 to 2 ratio is already taken. So it cannot be 5 here, so this must be 7. 7's only consecutive with other digits, so this must be 8. That's a 5. So those are guaranteed. 8 can be next to 4 or 9. It could be 7 here, but except the 7 in the row. If this were 1, it would be consecutive with 2, so this can't be 1. This is 4. They cannot have a 2 in either spot. So this is 4, this is 1. The remaining digits in column 1 are 5, 7, 8, and 9. 4 is consecutive with 5, and it's in a 1 to 2 ratio with 8. So this can't be, this is 5 or 8. 4 is consecutive with 3 or 5. This can't be 2, though. So it can't be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 2. So this is 3, 5, or 8 here. If this were 5, it could not go to 6. So this can't be 5. This is 8. So this is 8, which goes to 7 or 9. There cannot be an 8 here. This digit must be consecutive with the other digit. 7 or 9 is never in a 1 to 2 ratio with another digit. So it must go this way, because 5, 7, or 9 are not consecutive. Therefore, this is 6 or 8. It could go here. It could go in some other way around here. This could go 2 to 1 here. That's possible. This can't be 8 because of the 8 in the box. One of these, this is a 5, 7, 9 triplet, which eliminates 5, 7, 9 in the rest of the box. So this is 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8. This can't be 1 because of the 1 in the column. This can't be 8 or 4. Therefore, we have a 1, 3, 6 triplet in box 4, which eliminates 1, 3, 6 in the rest of the box. So this can't be 6, this is 8. This can't be 3, 6, or 8, so it's 4. That means this can't be a 1, 4 pair. This has to be 2 and 3. That eliminates 3 from these two cells, so this must be a 3 here. 8 is not consecutive or in a 1 to 2 ratio with 3. It must be 4 then. So these cannot be digits on the loop because they would be touching itself. Same here. Remaining digits in column 2 are 3, 5, and 6. So it could go down this way. Remaining digits in column 3 are 2, 7, 9. And 9 cannot be here because of the 9 in the row. So this could work either way. We don't know anything about this. Okay. What pairs of digits can this be? Cannot be 3 and 7 or 1, 9 because of the 3 or 9 in the row. So this could be 2 and 8 or 4, 6. Therefore, this is 8 or 4, 6. Well, this can't be 4, so this can't be 6, which means this can't be 4. Interesting. Okay, what happens if this is the cell that's on the loop? If this is on the loop, these are not. This could not be. It would have to enter here and exit here. It would have to enter this way, and then it would connect. This would have to be 4 to be consecutive with the 5. That makes this 6, this 6. And this would have to be 4, because it can't be 6. So that's 4, which makes this 9. But 9 can only be with 8, and that wouldn't work. So this cannot be on the loop. Therefore, this is not on the loop, and these two are, which means it must connect this way. They could be consecutive, so it could be 5, 7, or 9 here. Cannot be 9 because of the 9 in the column. Or it's in a 1 to 2 ratio. And so it could be 3 or 4, but it cannot be 3 or 4 because the 3 in the column and the 4 in the row. So this is consecutive then. We don't know which. Okay. This can never go back that way. Well, Actually, it could technically. It'd be a very weird loop, but it could technically do that. So we're not going to rule that out yet. These are not on the loop because it would touch itself. This already shares an edge with 2, so it can't share an edge with any other. This could extend here. This would touch itself diagonally then, if that were the case. If it's this way, that's possible. It could enter that way. It could enter exit that way. Hmm. Remaining digits in row 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. This can't be 2, 3, or 9. That's interesting. Because of the 2, 3, 9 in the column. 5 has to be one of these 3 digits. So this could do something like, I don't know, this. That is... Oh, wait. No. It could do something like this, though. That is technically possible. Let's see, what else can we do? Wait, it cannot go that way. So say it tried looping here to loop around this way, and then it looped back here. How would it do that? This could not be 1. It would have to be 4 in a 1-2 ratio with 8. Therefore, this would be 9, but then this would have to be 8, and that would be contradictory. So, actually, that guarantees this can never go this way. If it goes this way, again, this is the only way that these are consecutive or in a 1-2 ratio with each other is if this is 4 and this is 8. Therefore, that's 9. 9 is only consecutive with 8, and it would have to go that way, and you'd have a double 8 in that box. That's the reason why. So this can never be on the loop. Therefore, it must always go this way. Therefore, it must connect to one of these 2. We don't know which. To be consecutive with 6 or 8, this must be 7, or it could be in a 1-2 ratio. And 8 would be with 4, 6 would be with 3, but we can't have a 3 in that row. So this is guaranteed to be 4 or 7. If this were 9, this would have to guarantee to be 8 here. It would connect that way. 8 would only be in a 1-2 ratio with 4, but the problem is this would be 4, 6, and 4, and that doesn't work. So this can never be 9. This has to be 4, which makes this a 1, this a 7, this a 5. 5 is only consecutive with 6s out of 6 and 8. So this is 6, that's 4. This can't be 1 or 4. These can't be 1 or 4. This is not on the loop. 7 is not going to be consecutive with any of these digits. 2, 3, or 9, and it can only be consecutive, so it must go here, and it must be consecutive with 8, which is in a 1 to 2 ratio with 4. So that's the loop there. This is not on the loop. This is on the loop. 5 cannot be here. The remaining digits in this box are 2, 3, and 9, and 2 can't be here because of the 2 in the row. So this is a 3, 9 pair, which eliminates 3 and 9 in the rest of the box. So this can't be 3 or 9, it's 2, which means 2 cannot be here. The remaining digits in row 2 are 1 and 2. It cannot enter in here and then exit back out without touching itself, so these are not on the loop. Remaining digits in row 3 are 7 and 8. Okay, so that's possible. Remaining digits in column 7 are 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. This can't be 2 because of the 2 in the row. This can't be 8 because of 8 in the row. No 8, no 9, no 1. So it could go either of these ways. That's fine. And either way, it would have to be a 7, because 3 is not allowed in any of those ways. So the 7 would have to either go back to a 6 or to an 8. The 7 could go 7, 8 here. One of these is on the loop. This can't be on the loop because it can't enter in and then exit out again. If this were this way on the loop, it would have to go, well, I don't know. It would have to be this way. That would not be on the loop, so this could not be on the loop. So it would have to go that way. So this would be a 7. This could not be 1, 2, or 3, so this would have to be 4. This could not be 2, 3, or 4, so this would have to be 1. That would be 6, but 1 can never be next to 2 unique digits on the loop. So it cannot go this way. Therefore, we know this is on the loop, and this is not. Well, none of these digits are consecutive with it, and there's not a 1 to 2 ratio with it, so it must go out this way, and it must go out this way. The only digit which is consecutive here is 2. And there's not a 1 to 2 ratio with it. So 2 cannot be here. This digit cannot be 2, 3, or 4. 2 or 4. So it must be in a 1 to 2 ratio, and this must be 6. So this is not on the loop. This cannot go here than here. Because if this were going this way and then here, this would be 6, 7. Okay, so this is always on the loop. So this is 7. That makes this 8. If it goes this way, 7 is not, it would be consecutive with 6 or 8, but then 8 would not be in a 1 to 2 ratio, or consecutive with 6. So this cannot be on the loop. It must go this way, and then here, and then connects here. This is 6. It's consecutive with 5 or 7. 8 can be consecutive with 7 or 9, but that's not consecutive with 5 or 7, so it must be in a 1 to 2 ratio, and therefore this is 4, which makes this 5. This 6 eliminates 6 here, so it's 1 and 6. This 5 eliminates 5 here. Where's the 5 in column 1? It must be here. So this is 5. These are not on the loop, because it would be touching itself then. It could go this way, it could go this way. Remaining digits in box 6 are 1, 7, 8, 9. This can't be 7, 1, 8, 9. This can't be 8. This can't be 8, so this is 1, 7, or 9 here. Remaining digits in row 5 are 7, 8, and 9. And 8 cannot be here, whereas the 8 in row 5, it must be here. This cannot enter in here and exit out without touching itself, so these are not on the loop. Remaining digits in column 6. we have 4, 7, and 8. This can't be 8 because of the 8 in the row. So this still could go this way or this way. We don't know which. This can't be 8 because of the 8 in the row. Where is the 8 in column? 6. It has to be here. So this is 8, which means this can't be 8 here. Remaining digits in row 4 are 179 because 8 cannot be here. We have a 179 triplet, which eliminates in box 5, which eliminates 179 in the rest of the box. So this can't be 7. This is 4, that's 7. Remaining digits then must be 5 and 6. Could go this way still. Go 5. You could not go here and then down. This 7 eliminates 7 here and 7 here. If it goes this way, it would have to go back here to be a 2. It could continue all the way over here, though. Okay. Remaining digits in box 8. 1 through 6. This can't be 4, this can't be 4, so 4 has to be one of these two. You could just connect this. No, it can't connect that way. Is this ever on the loop, then? If we try to make this on the loop, this would have to be 8, 9, 8. And then how does it connect? 8 is not in a 1 to 2 ratio with 1. It would have to be consecutive with 9, but 9 has no relationship to 2. So this can never be on the loop then. 7 can never be on the loop for the same reasoning. Goes 2, 4. 4 has no relationship with 7. 1 or 9 has no relationship with 7, so these can't be on the loop. So it either goes this way or it goes around somewhere like that. So let's say it went this way. It would have to essentially eventually go around here. It could not connect this way, though. So this would not be 9. This would have to be 7, which would be next to 6, which is not possible. And it can't go this way because 1 is not in a relationship with any other digit but 2 on the Kropki line, so it would have to go this way, and therefore it would touch itself if it tried going here. So it can never go this way. Then it must go this way. So this is on the loop. These two cannot be on the loop. It can't enter in. These two can't be on the loop. It can't enter in and then exit out here again. So none of these are on the loop. So this is a 5 because that's the only digit that's in a relationship ratio, in a consecutive or 1 to 2 ratio with it. This can't be 5 then. This can't be 2 because of the 2 in the column. This 7 eliminates 7 here. This can't be 6 because of the 6 in the column. Okay. If this is 5, it has to go to 6 here, and then 7 here. If this is 3, it could go to 6 here and then 7 here, or it could go 2 straight to 2 here. Hmm. So this could be 5 going down to 4 or 6 here. Or this could be going 6 to here. And this could be 3 or 5. Hmm. Where is 8? Oh, we don't know, actually. 8's one of these two. What? Okay, where is 1 in row 4? It must be one of these two cells, so this cannot be 1 here. So 1 is here. That means 1 has to be one of those two there. These can't be 1 because of the 1 in the row. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. If it goes this way, it can obviously only go down. So then this would be 6. It cannot be 5 here, because it cannot turn back, so it would have to go down again. 5 is not consecutive with 1, 2, or 3. So it would have to be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 3. So this would be 3. And 3 is only consecutive with 2. So this would be 3 and 2. The problem, though, is it can't go this way, because this would have to be a 7 if this were 2. So if this is 6, this would have to be 3, because it can't be 5, because if it goes 5, there's no other digit that's consecutive with it here. This would be 3, this would have to be 2, that would be 7, so it cannot go here. But the only remaining digit is 5, which 2 has no relationship with, so it cannot go... It cannot go here. So it must go down here. And this is 4 or 6. If it goes this way, again, it has to be 3. It cannot be 5 because 5 is not in a relationship with any other digit here. And then you'd have the same problem. 3, 2, 7. This can't be. This would be 5. 2 has no relationship with 7 or 5. So it cannot turn that way. It must go this way. So this is 4, 6. This has to be a 3, right? Because 4 can be consecutive with 3 or 5, but 5 is not possible. And it's in a 1 to 2 ratio with 2 and 8, but 2 and 8 are not possible, so this would have to be 3 if that's the case. 6 is consecutive with 5 or 7, but neither 5 or 7 are possible, and it's in a relationship with 3 in a 1 to 2 ratio. Either way, this is a 3. So this 3 eliminates 3 here, so that's 9, which makes this 3. 9 eliminates 9 here, so it's 1, which means this can't be 1. So none of these could be 3. This 3 eliminates 3 here, so that's 5. This can't be 5. This can't be 5. 5 is not consecutive with 2 or 7, nor is it in a ratio with anything, so this must go this way, and this must be a 6 to be in a ratio, in the one... But that's problematic, because this is 7, then this can't be 8. How did I fail that? Huh. I failed that somehow. I'm thinking it's somewhere here. Can it go this way? It can't go this way, so this can't be 9 and then 8. It has to be 7. That would force this to be 6, and that's not possible. So it has to go this way. Then it has to go this way. This is 5. That's 6. This has to... Okay. Let's not go that way yet. Let's go from here. So if this is 5, that's 6. Because 5 is not in a ratio with 2 or... It's not in any relationship with 2 or 7. Um... So this would be 3, 6, 7. If that's the case, or 5, 6, 7. So it can never go this way. Therefore, it must go this way. Therefore, this must be 3. And this has to be 2, which makes this 9. This can't be 3, this can't be 3, this is 7. That's not in a ratio with anything. So it has to go this way. 2 is only in a ratio with 1. So this is 1. Okay. This can't be 1. This can't be 2. This can't be 3. 1 is not in a ratio with 5 or 6. It could go this way. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. Cannot be 6 or 7. Cannot be 5 or 8. So, one of these digits is a 7, because this can't be 7. So this can't be 7 here. This is 9, which makes this 1. This can't be 1 or 9. So 1 has to be... Well, 1 can't be here anyways. Oh! Yeah, it doesn't go this way. So it can't go this way, obviously. It can't go this way, because 8 and 9, you go to 8, you would have to go to 1 specifically, because it can't enter that way. So I think that all works. Therefore, it cannot go this way. It has to go this way, and this is a 2. Right, so this doesn't have to be 3. 6, this had to be 6, forced this to be 3 to be in that ratio. But this could be 2, 4, and this is 5. And then this is essentially the path. And this is 6. Okay, so yeah, that works. So this is 1, 2, 4. Because this is 4 and 6. 2 is only in a 1 to 2 ratio with 4. So that works. This 1 eliminates 1 here, so this must be 1 here. This can't be 2. This can't be 4 anymore. We have a 3, 5, 6 triplet, which eliminates 3, 5, 6 in the rest of the row. So this is a 2, 4 pair. This can't be 4 because of the 4 in the column. So this is 2, that's 4. This 2 eliminates 2 here, so it's 1 and 2. 1 can't be here. Where's the 1 in box 6? It must be here. So this is 1. Remaining digits in row 7 are 3, 5, and 6. This can't be 5. This can't be 6. Right, so let's just check. 1 is in a ratio with 2 or consecutive with 2. 2 is consecutive with 3. 3 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with 6. 6 is consecutive with 7. 7 is consecutive with 8. 8 is 1 to 2 ratio with 4, which is 1 to 2 ratio with 8. 8 is consecutive with 7. 7 is consecutive with 6. 6 is consecutive with 5. 5 is consecutive with 6. Oh, this 5 eliminates 5 here, so that's 6. Okay. 6 is consecutive with 7. 7 is consecutive with 8. 8 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with 4. 4 is consecutive with 5. 5 is consecutive with 6. 6 is in 1 to 2 ratio with 3. 3 is consecutive with 2. 2 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with 4. 4 is consecutive with 5. 5 is consecutive with 4. 4 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with 2. 2 is consecutive and in a 1 to 2 ratio with 1. Same with 1 and 2. 2 is consecutive with 3. 3 is consecutive with 4. 4 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with 8. And 8 is consecutive with 7 or 9. So this is 6, which makes this 7. That makes this 8, which makes that 5, which makes this 3, which makes that 6. This 7 eliminates 7 here, so it's 9, which makes that 7, which makes that 9, which makes that 7, which makes that 9, which makes this 8, which makes that 7. This 3 eliminates 3 here, so it's 9 and 3. That's 3 in the corner. We celebrate because we know we're getting close to solving it. This can't be 5 or 6, so that's 3. This can't be 3 or 6, so it's 5. 3 eliminates 3 here, so it's 9 and 3. This 5 eliminates 5 here, so it's 6, and that's 5. Whew! Almost got stuck here. Yeah, so this was bad logic here. It obviously could not go that way, so we were having that problem. So I approached it from the other end, and then that led me to the solution. Right. Yeah, I don't know why I said this had to be 3. It was just, you know, oversight on my part. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.